Hey guys, I'm playing a visual novel called Embers of Magic, and you play as a witch who is going to take a trip down to Earth, which has been corrupted by a different type of magic, demons. I don't know. Whatever. It's a visual novel. It's short. It's a adventure story. It looks cute, so I wanted to try it. It's free too, so and as always, the link for this will be in the description. So without any more talking, let's just.
I thought you said that looking down there made you sad. The melancholy of seeing the ruins of the old world or something?
I didn't notice his voice acting. Is this forward?
Hmm.
Oh, Titus sat next to her, slipping his legs off the edge as well, placing his walking staff beside him. So he doesn't. So in the picture on on Steam, it looked like he didn't have two legs, and I guess I know he was maybe sitting on it, but now I think so. Now we have a disabled character, which
Not today. Today it's clear and I can see the greens and yellows and oranges. And the colors of life.
thank you. So let's just see how they handle that. Anyway,
Not just the blues of the ocean or the white of the clouds.
yeah, once she had looked up and marveled at their beauty, but now the condensed water vapors were little more than a source of irritation. Below them was Wind Basin, the largest island in the winding archipelago. I know that word. Why can't I say it? Archipelago? That sounds wrong. Liana glanced to her side, surveying her friend instead of the view far below.
Do you ever wish we could go back down there?
Not really. Not if it's anything like how we left it.
But what did y'all do to fuck it up in the first place?
There's no way it's still so dangerous. The magic must have begun to settle by now.
I'm sure that's what the last view to go down there said, and yet they never returned.
Have you considered that they might have simply decided to stay?
I suppose you could argue that they decided to become part of the circle of life. Getting eaten by a monster would definitely be a reason to stay.
He has pink hair, that's cool. Yeah, Liana groaned at the joke, kicking her feet.
You don't know that. Why can't we just make the city, I don't know, go a bit lower? Take a quick peek.
I'm gonna turn the voices down, like, just a little bit, because she's, like, shouting in my ear. So, I'm gonna... Yeah, maybe... Just...
Unlike you, the council has a strong sense of self-preservation.
You mean they're boring?
We may be boring, but at least we're alive. It's more than can be said of the billions lost down there. It's not so bad here. Even compared to the world we knew before, this place is a wonder. A breathtaking view, fresh food in abundance, and magic of a power beyond anything we knew before.
And in the end, it's still nothing but a prison. I miss the earth. I need to feel rough ground beneath me, rocks under my toes, and plants that weren't carefully cultivated in neat rows by a legion of professional gardeners.
That doesn't sound like horrible shit. Like, people keep going down to Earth and not returning. And yes, they could have decided to stay. They could have gotten eaten. Maybe they were just. I don't know, but it's like this place doesn't sound that bad. This is why, like, I couldn't be a main character in anything, because I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll stay in a floating city that could plummet out of the sky at any moment. But okay, cool. I'll be here
Not
for a
to
while.
mention animals. I miss wildlife.
I am perfectly content with not meeting the wildlife down there.
I'm with Titus right now.
Stolas is wildlife.
And he was likely born on Terra.
I'm not gonna remember.
No, he wasn't.
A small chirp noise came from Liana's here.
I doubt it. I wasn't able to find evidence of a single other owl living up here.
Yeah, I was definitely from Earth. Oh my goodness, this that art seems different than like them, but it's also very cute. So, yeah, as though on cue, a tiny owl that seemed made entirely of eyes waddled to just under her neck and nibbled at her hair.
If he wasn't born here, then it means he came from somewhere else.
His parents probably live under a house you've never been to. Some owls can burrow, you know.
I suppose he could be classified in the Athene family.
She sounded unsure. He had colors on him that no owl should rightly have. Not that they were not lovely colors. Maybe the magic that had created the horrors below had also created new life. I wonder if there's a fighting system in it. It was a fragile hope.
I've mapped every area that isn't paved. I've scaled every height in Terrace, even the underside. I think that after 100 years, I would have a good sense of what kind of wildlife we had.
Wow, chick. Look. Yeah, both of you look very, very good for over 100 years old.
You know that Professor Tulleth still blames you for the loss of the Eastern Tower.
She pulled him along.
And I still say it wasn't my fault.
Oh, I forgot I had to read that part. Yeah, below them, the world drifted past.
It's just not fair when there's so much beneath us that we're exiled to this tiny speck of floating rock.
Some say it's better than we deserve.
The two sat in silence for a time, Liana staring unfocused at the earth far below them as warm breezes tickled her face, and Stolas puffed into ball mode to sleep. Time passed. Liana couldn't begin to say how long. She just took in the rolling world beneath.
Didn't you say you hated looking at the ruins?
You say that already. She blinked, Stolas perking up.
What?
She turned to Titus and then followed his gaze back to where hers had only just lay. Her eyebrows furrowed as her brain struggled to absorb the retinal information it was receiving. There, far beneath her, was an enormous stone pyramid. What was that? Okay. Wait, did I read? Oh, okay, after all, with the population, I think that would go back. There were few places that humans hadn't lived. But these ruins didn't seem right. Was it their location? Where was this exactly anyway? That was when it clicked.
Those aren't ruins.
The blood rushing through her veins felt like white water rapids in her ears.
That's a new construction, Titus.
The man grunted as Liana shuffled desperately to her feet, still as hooting.
Titus. That's new. Those aren't ruins. It had to have been built after the rupture.
Liana, that's impossible.
But she was already tucking her huge journal, her knuckles white as she gripped the rating.
I have to see it.
Liana, how are you even going to get down there?
Without a response, beyond a ripping sound and a panicked hoop from Stolas, Liana was gone, bare feet slapping the cobblestones as she pounded down the street, down the stairs and out of his sight. Titus stared after her, his mouth half open. With a small laugh, he shrugged to himself, laying one hand on Liana's boots.
Can't let her leave without these.
Hey, how you not going to put your shoes on? And wiped his hand on his overalls. What was this? The fifth or sixth layer of wood treatment? He doubted any ship needed that much lacquer. But it was more than lacquer. What, two? That doesn't sound like I'm saying that right. He had found the materials for the spell in one of the older books in the abandoned library. He let out a long, pained sigh, and watched as the slack lines whipped in the wind. Once again, he released a long sigh. How long would it be before he could unfurl the sails?
Anne!
Jeez, lady. Anne jumped so high he nearly cleared the railings of the ship. You too scary to be on an airship. Go, sit down. Fortunately, he had the finesse to make the action seem purposeful, striking the heels of his boots hard onto the rail and completing the maneuver with an elaborate flourish as he turned about.
Why, hello there, missy.
Oh, don't try to act harsh. Who the devil was she anyway? How'd she know your
Anne,
name?
I need you to let me sail with you.
Why are your eyes so big? It's like, I mean, she's probably not human considering she's like over 100, but like it's very anime, but like at the same time it's not. For a moment, Anne only met her gaze in silence, trying to judge to see if the girl was serious. Instead of any hint of a mocking tone, he found in her eyes and voice only urgency.
Do you know what you be asking of me, lass?
Wow, you're really serious about the whole pirate thing, aren't you?
Dang. Anne ignored the question as Liana's eyes still met his with a fierceness that he never found from the eyes who came here to mock him.
Aye, but I could be asking you the same.
Below us, there's some kind of structure, but it's new. If we don't leave immediately, we'll drift too far past it to ever find it again easily. You have the only prepped airship. Nines. I bet you've got the only functional airship at this point.
Anne met her gaze, measuring the steel in her eyes. Can you just hurry up and stop the measuring thing? Like, yo, you've been commenting on it, her eyes.
Then we best be off quick as a gibbet. I just be needing 5 minutes and 23 seconds afore we set off.
Anne flourished into an elaborate bow before breaking off into a desperate one. Liana blinked after the man, stunned that anyone had agreed to her request, much less with so little argument. Because he wants, where in the nines was he going anywhere? I think that's it anyway. The pirate turned the corner so sharply, Liana thought he might topple and was gone from sight. Taking the time to assess the ship, Liana pulled out her journal. It was habit, if not pure instinct now, that made her begin making notations in her journal. Can I read those notations back? She recorded details of the docks, the weather, and the ship. This art is like changing every frame. It's not bad, it's kind of distracting. The ship was more than a skyship dock, mounted 3 feet from the ground. She noted it wasn't flying yet as she counted the windows. Every once in a while, her eyes flicked downwards towards the spiraling sea of clouds that now concealed the lands below. She was halfway through a quick sketch of the main mast when a thump made her spin around.
That wasn't even 4 minutes.
Oh. Titus cocked an eyebrow as he struggled to catch his breath. You want to make that man run after you, jeez. Her boots were by her side and a pair of boot prints marred the otherwise spotless side of the ship. Idly she wiggled her toes, just now realizing that they were bare.
Oh, thanks.
Scooping up the boots, she walked over to him and leaned against the side of the ship as she slipped them on. What, they fell out of your hand? Striking a needlessly epic pose, Liana adopted a feigned, serious tone.
I'll be flying soon. Lost to the long sky.
She waited for the breezes, which plagued the shipyards, to blow her hair for effect, but only managed to whip it in her face and get several strands stuck in her mouth.
Flying? On Anne's ship? The kid is a loon. He thinks he's a pirate.
I mean, who cares? Like, who says he's not a pirate? He was looking at the ship critically.
Not to mention it would take more sky lilies than anyone is allowed to requisition in a year to fly this thing. It's made almost entirely out of oak.
Okay, but how's it flying? Now in his eyes, and I mean, it's a world of magic. What am I talking about? Never mind. Now in his eyes, examining it more critically, Titus muttered to himself.
Bamboo probably would have been a better choice. Lighter. Maybe balsa if...
Titus,
Sorry, what?
come with me.
He said, nah. Liana lowered his sketchbook, standing straight and meeting the older witch's gaze. Titus' eyes fell on the ship. He seemed to take it all in, and a light sparkled in his eyes. For a heartbeat, she thought he looked tempted. And then it was gone.
You know I can't.
Titus wrapped the hull with his staff.
Even if Anne could get it to fly.
Liana smirked as she added a note to her schedule. Titus. Very serious. Right.
Ever a slave to duty.
Someone has to be. The council is content with just surviving. When the power systems failed, we lost most of the archives of magic. All we have left is books, and most people don't even know where the library is.
Can y'all put up some signs then? Like, it's not that difficult.
I have a real chance to change things, Liana.
As an afterthought, she added with way too much orange as a final note. It's not even that much orange. Like, it's not that bad. A commotion in the distance prompted her to close the book.
Make sure they get some practical experience. You can't learn everything from books.
Liana grinned at Titus, and they shared a smile. Jeez. The commotion seemed to grow louder, and she looked behind Titus to see a figure sprinting at an impossible speed, tearing towards the ship. Oh, Jesus. It was Anne, or at least she assumed it was. Beyond the distinctive boost, there was little to see beyond a cloud of uprooted sky lilies. Several heavily built witch guards were close on his tail. No, that truly didn't give Anne justice. They were certainly following at least, but the way the man moved. Liana wondered what spell the pirate witch had used.
Halt! Stop that man!
Thief!
Thief!
Jeez, Anne. How you gonna get all that in the ship and like get a... So scooted softly, dancing in that odd way owls do.
Wahoo, lassie! Skim the word for we be cutting air.
That means nothing to me. But, okay, let's go. She wondered if those were actual words. Dropping her journal, which swung on thick cords around her waist, she began untying the ship from the dock.
You can't be serious.
Watch my garden for me.
You better not let her garden go. You gonna come back to a boot late. Okay, Liana was halfway done with the thick rope. I was like, where is that down to the
Mrs. Cooper has 3 of my books. Make sure she returns them or puts them in the library or something.
I wish she kind of
Liana, you're not going to be gone that long, surely.
She'll swear she only has 2 because the other has risque content, but it's the only known copy, so you better get it back.
She said, don't you... She said, you lose my pawn, I'm coming for you. And struck the deck with enough force to shake the ship, causing Titus to fight for balance and his weight.
Halt! Stop him!
Titus spun around, his face a contorted mask of guilt and uncertainty. He disappeared and flew below deck with such speed Liana would have thought him to have fallen if not for the cadence of his footsteps. Liana wasn't sure what the captain was doing, but made haste to unfurl the sails.
The blue blasters? The flowers that look like morning glories need to be sprayed with lemon water twice a day.
And returned as abruptly as he left, no longer holding an armless load of sky lilies, his face a manic grin. Titus stepped toward the ship, his hand outstretched towards Liana, at complete loss for words. But see, right now he's literally being a pirate. He got a ship and he just stole all the sky lilies that he needed to power the ship, so he is a pirate. You can't call him a loon anymore. And he looked near tears, and Liana's heart wrenched with its own guilt. The pirate had one hand on the ship's wheel as the ship lurched unnaturally.
And Titus?
He spun the wheel hard to one side.
Sorry things didn't work out.
The airship suddenly tilted to the side as though toppling over, falling off the side of the island like a rock. That makes me feel safe. Okay. The swamp bubbled and popped as Babby watched. It smelled foul. Babby had always just assumed that age made one smell gross. That's so mean. He was beginning to realize that the reason Grandpa smelled so bad was because of all the time he spent here.
Come on, boy. We won't catch a thing if you dawdle the way you are. The early bird gets the worm. Hoo-hoo!
Aren't we after fish?
That is beside the point. Oh, the heartbeat.
It's an expression.
It was also past midday when we set out.
Oh, don't trip over tiny details like that, Bobby.
Oh, you're supposed to say Bobby, but it's an A.
Today, we shall lure the greatest catch of all. Woo! The whaleboat!
The man was beyond senile. Bobby looked into the muck of... it says Babby. But into the muck of the swamp water and noted how shallow it was. He knew where the well was. He had seen them off the coast of the Spires. He knew one could never live in water like this, bold or otherwise. He sighed as he trudged after the doddering old bird.
Today's the day! Ooh, I can smell it on the wind!
Y'all should probably move. I got a feeling that ship is gonna crash. Okay. Liana struggled to pull her hands free of the rigging as Stolas complained, her white knuckle grip seeming to have cemented during the descent. Anne seemed none the worse for it. His difficulties with getting the ship to properly fly instead of plummeting towards certain death had seemed a little more concerned to him than picking a beverage to accompany breakfast. Speaking of which, she had lost hers. She was thankful to have flown outward during the death spiral and splattered neither her nor the spotless death.
Ho ho, that was a bit of fun, weren't it?
I don't let the goddamn black off your hair. Talk fun.
Now we've got to dip into the pulsoon of that there fog bank and parry the wind for our course.
Liana was convinced now, if she hadn't been before, that the one to be pirate had little to no idea what he was saying.
Do you have any idea where we're going, Anne?
Why is it?
Ha 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 ha! Nary a clue, lass.
Why would he know? You're the one who got on his ship to go somewhere. That didn't... Okay.
We're going to sortie in low and scout out for your ruins. Do it slow like, lest we scuttle ourselves against them.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, okay. She took a moment to examine the ship. She could feel the magic bound to the hull, some sort of reinforcement, she guessed, and another spell. The second was likely whatever let it fly. A modification of the spell that was supposedly once used to grant flight to brooms. Liana knew a similar spell fueled the flight of the island, but it had never been something she had particularly researched. She regretted that now. The ship shifted hard as the pirate turned the wheel, banking them lower. She stumbled before catching herself on the railing. The pirate captain stood as steady as a stone. She felt out, drawing in a fraction of the magic on him, trying to identify what kept him so steady. She couldn't recognize a single aspect of the spell. Spiraling stars. Had the man been developing his own magic? Guilt struck her. He was more than half her age, though he didn't look it, and he apparently had a better grasp of magic than she did if he was already developing new spells. Her careful and intimately memorized catalog of every known spell seemed useless before someone who had created their own.
This is going to be quite the rocky ducking, lass.
Huh?
Liana didn't have a chance to fully digest the statement when the ship lurched out from beneath her, abruptly stopping while she did not. Dang. Oh, dang. Oh, tumble. Oh, her arm cracked sharply against the bow as she tumbled over it. Dang it. Come on, man. Yes, I'll let her go over like that. Goodness. Grandpa said stock still. He had found a tree in a pond, declaring the location perfect for fishing and casting. The hook now hung free of any form of bait, 20 feet in the air, dangling from a branch. It had been there for at least 2 hours. Grandpa's pale eyes stared up at the bob with expectation on his face. The rod held happily with one gnarled foot. But could only sigh and watch.
How long do you think?
My dear, when, like those few times I've actually gone fishing, but it was like, I was young. It was very boring. It was very boring. Very fidgeted.
Are you Hungry?
I said
He's a baby. And so he sat beside the old bird, crossing his wings moodily.
don't fidget so, little one. Else we'll never get a bite.
Why are you fishing there, though? It was sad to see such a great bird sent so far into senility? Senility? Watching over him was the least Bobby could do for the elder. It didn't mean he was going to enjoy it, though. Grandpa was the reason the harpies had survived following the rupture. Of course, Bobby had been there. His dad had, though. I love this. This is my favorite game. Favorite game. No slander of this game is allowed in the comments. He let out a long sigh. Grandpa shot him a look. Barry looked away and watched the fog as it curled, his mind playing at shapes in the mist. For a moment he saw a form running through them when the crack of a branch turned his head to Grandpa's tree. He caught only a glimpse as an immense shape glided like a web between the waves and the sea of fog. The branch from which the lure had hung was gone. The lure snared on whatever had passed. The old bird's line spun wildly as it extended further and further, a beaming smile of delight playing across Grandpa's face. The old bird braced himself, ready to pull hard on the uncoiling line. Bobby stared in horror as the line unwound, almost to the spool, as he stepped forward. He snatched the rod from the elder's hand and barely tossed it aside before the line went taut and the rod whipped away into the swirling mist of the swamp.
Oh no! Now we have to go find my rod. Might have to catch the whaleboat by hand.
What was that?
The whaleboat. It's a type of towboat. It soars through the skies.
He seemed troubled for a moment.
No, I can't remember what a towboat is. I just know that I need the scales of a whaleboat for my tea.
He like Uncle Iroh from Avatar.
I need to clear my head, boy.
The old bear began to waddle off after his rod, his feathers trailing in the mud. Bobby what? Wide-eyed as the elder walked. Then with a resigned sigh, he followed. As the world had tumbled, she swore that the pirate had barely flinched during the impact, still gripping the mast. Tearing herself free in the muddy pool that she had landed in, she looked down at her filthy clothes.
You still breathing, lass?
He could have warned her a bit more before the ship actually hit something. Just saying, I mean. Had she just said I?
Whoop.
Heavy boots struck the ground beside her as she scraped at the mud which clung to her face and clothes.
Yeah, I be having a change of clothes, if you've been needing it.
If? Liana imagined herself in the pirate costume the captain wore.
No, that's alright.
She would deal with the mud for now.
Is there a reason you crashed the ship?
Aye. It'd be my first time taking her skyward.
Have faith in you, Anne. Liana considered snapping at him for bringing her on the ship's maiden voyage, but considering she had practically begged him to take her, she thought better of it.
Is it still, skyworthy?
Probably aye. Need to give her a glance over the bilge to make sure her hull tain't breached. But aye, we'll be skyward again in no time.
Good. I think.
She still wasn't sure if he was using half of the words correctly.
If you're going to check the ship, I think I'll go out and scout around a bit. See if I can find something to point us in the right direction.
And Liana reached into the pouches at her side. Ginger... Oh my god. Whatever. And what is a cane? Is it salient? Ginkgo, the herbs were dried and preserved, but as she inhaled, she still drew power from them. She inhaled their essence a second time, an advanced technique. She wondered if the pirate could do it, and then let the gray dust of their remains fall from her open palm. That sounds way more like grim than it actually is. It took a few moments for the spell to take effect. The dark of the thick fog bank grew brighter. Not that it aided invisibility, but her ears began to pick up movement, though distant. The air was moist and the smell and taste were exactly what one might expect in a swamp like this. The staleness leaving a foul flavor on her tongue.
I'll be back.
Brushing off as much of the remaining mud as she could, she stepped into the soupy fog and was gone. And scratched at his beard, shrugged, and made quick to check his ship. A tune began to rattle in his head. Dare he sing it? Please, don't do this. Since birth he had heard nothing but tales of the horrors that live beneath the sky, the terrors that stalked the land below.
Ah, bugger it. Oh, I once knew a lass, and her name was Ash, and her skin was fair and pale. And though she nearly had a care from her toes to her hair, she's the hero of this tale.
The words came to him on a whim, each line writing itself as it was sung. Of course he didn't know anyone named Ash, but it remained for a jaunty tune.
On her hand was a mark, in her heart was a spark, a phoenix set to flame. But her heart wasn't true, she confessed to a prude, and her life felt rather lame. Sally ho, here we go, adventure is for thee. Sally ho, here we go, a love you won't know, you see.
The crack of a branch cut his song short as he turned around. Something darkened the edge of the fog, and what looked like an array of jewels reflected the dim light from the ship's lantern.
Huh. Well, would you look at that?
Yeah, okay, that's all you're gonna say? The darkness surged forward. Oh, jeez. Oh. Okay, so I was going to end at the next transition. Because I don't know how long this game is actually going to be. I'm just gonna complete it in one long run. This video is probably gonna be very long. I apologize. Liana was glad she had at least one good boost, but between the mud and the fact she had failed to wear proper exploration gear, she was feeling a great deal of discomfort. She had been marking her path with fly lights, dandelions, sunflower seeds, and a pinch of rose to color them red, and trying her best to lead them at consistent intervals. She couldn't quite see how many she had left in her wake, but it had easily been half an hour since she had started walking. She had told herself more than once that she would walk just a single additional interval and then head back, but that had been easily 40 intervals ago. The alien-looking floor kept catching her eye, and she would crouch down to record it in her journal. She did so again, gently running her fingers down the plant's long leaves to feel their texture. Biting the end of her pencil, she thought for a moment before writing.
New plant named Capped Scratches.
Hog farts?
Has a faintly spicy undertone, waxy exterior.
Yeah. The small owl hopped off her shoulder and onto the roots of a tree which were peeking out from beneath the shallow pool. His eyes were wide as he cooed, insistent.
You want to pick something for me?
That jellyfish on land thing here? A wide array of plants were growing where Stolas was dancing. Liana saw a puff of orange flowers, a luminescent mushroom that looked like it had bred with a jellyfish, and a few sprigs of fog farts and cat scratches.
Okay, well, let's see.
Oh, God. The mushroom?
That mushroom!
It was bigger than Stolas himself, but with some difficulty he was able to free it from the muddy ground. He hopped back to her, and she helped him put the mushroom into one of her many pouches for the purpose.
Very nice.
The witch grinned before turning back to her exploration. Leon told her so she should head back, but something, an instinct drove her forward. Her foot got stuck in another mud pool. That's what you get. She felt especially driven when that happened. With a grunt, she wrenched her foot free. There was something just ahead. She was sure of it. And then, there it was. As though the fog had shifted solely to make the reveal, a monolith stone pyramid rested before her, not half another interval ahead of where she stood.
Wow.
Stolas cooled softly. The stones were freshly cut, neatly too. The edges were particularly sharp. The sides and plateaus of each level were near sheer. These looked like they may have been cut with tools of the old world. Though she considered with enough care and time, the same effect could have been achieved with a simple chisel. She wasn't one to jump to conclusions. Liana brushed her hand against the surface and all at once felt something alien. Magic so unfamiliar she recoiled. Images of ancient aliens sprung to her mind, but she mentally stomped them out. She refused to even entertain such fancies. A walk up the perimeter of the building took her half as long as it had taken her to find it. It was enormous, and where had this much stone been found in the middle of a swamp? She mapped the outside, marking the entrance she had chosen to pass on her first lap before returning to it. A shiver ran through her spine as she stared into the darkness, even her enhanced senses failing to penetrate for her.
Don't shy back now, Liana.
She reached into her satchel and threw a fistful of dandelions. It was far from the most efficient light spell, but seeing as dandelions could replace any component in sufficient quantity, and they were as plentiful as well, dandelions, she thought it better to save her rare components for more demanding spells. She drew in the magic, once again drawing in twice, before exhaling onto her pen, lacking anything else handy. With a guarded breath, she stepped forward into the dark. I'm liking this so far. Like, really glad I chose to play this. Or read this, play it, whatever. And we never really got a good look at whatever had captured him. Somehow he had felt no fear as he had been grasped by a seething mass of tiny hands and carried off into the swamp. And wondered if his lack of fear was due to his being a rather poor judge of character, or an excellent judge. It had always been so difficult to get a read on other witches. Perhaps he had a knack for swamp monsters. The efficiency with which the creature, or perhaps creatures, carried him was remarkable. Despite the apparent lack of height, he rarely felt any part of him touch earth. Even with the bag, apparently made of a lizard skin of some sort, over his head, he could tell they were traveling quickly. The creature, or creatures, would stop occasionally, however, and through the scales of the bag, Anne could see a faint red glow that floated softly on the air. A high-pitched, guttural chittering sounded as a pair of hands let go, and he heard an excited clapping, as though the creature were trying to catch the lights.
Do ye be liking them?
Stop screaming in my ear, please. You heard the guttural chittering. Seems there were several creatures.
It be magic.
Guttural chittering again.
Magic.
Magics.
And started. Did the creatures understand?
Do ye be wanting magic?
Magics.
I think I can be helping ye there.
I wouldn't be saying stuff like that. And yeah, the further she got inside, the more Liana realized how immense the complex was. The insides grew larger, each set of stones seeming to pull away from her into the light she cast was no more than a tiny pool of light beneath her feet and the walls beyond her pen's reach. Her footsteps echoed until she could tell she was in an enormous chamber. Liana needed to see more. She reached into her pouches, groping for the materials for a stronger light spell. Something scraped against the stone. Something immense. Liana shifted her hands, drawing the herbs for a more offensive magic.
Who are you? I had thought all the humans were dead. Or at least weren't human anymore.
Slowly it came into view. Liana's jaw dropped in recognition. It was a dinosaur skull.
How?
The creature. Obviously, I don't know.
Such an array of plants. A witch. I had thought the humans had burnt and drowned your kind into extinction long before I had perished.
No, that's not how time works. That's not how. That tells me this soft. You died before we came around.
How?
Liana cursed herself for her now monosyllabic vocabulary.
Who are you? What are you?
I just realized this is also his okay, that's a very big answer.
Necromancy. Or a flavor of it. It's a rather consistent magic, you know, across many worlds. As for the who, I am what you might call a mother. I was still for a long time. And it will not be long before I am still once more. My clutch will be alone. And industrious as they are, they know nothing of the world.
I'm starting to get the impression I'm in the same boat.
Liana drew in a breath of the magic surrounding her. She could taste the necromancy the creature spoke of. Spiraling stars. What kind of spell could produce something like that? The creature shifted, agitated.
Tell me, witch, how old are you?
What type of question is that?
122. Almost exactly.
Hey, okay.
Then you were here when the world awakened once more. When the magics that animated my bones to protect my clutch stirred, and they too began to develop for the first time in millennia.
Yes, I was there. I was there when it happened. I was barely done being a student. It was my first job, a researcher for a prestigious lab. Our work was supposed to give us access to magic beyond anything any witch could harness at the time. I was in a hazard suit, directly beside the machinery, activating spells and devices at the command of my seniors. I was there when it happened. I was the one who opened the rupture.
Hey, why has she confessed to that?
Then I thank you, witch. You gave my children a life they could not have had in the world before.
And what of the lives lost?
Death comes for us all. Even me. Even now.
That's it? Just people die? All those people dead because of me.
You cannot save the lives lost to the rupture, as you call it. So I ask you, instead, to consider the lives you can save now. I can sense it in you. A truly awesome power. Do you choose to hide that flame, in penance of how you obtain it? Or do you choose to protect this world you've created?
Well, what's coming?
I can't... I mean... I don't even know where to begin.
I am afraid I can offer you no guidance there. My time is over. Your presence hastening the end of my spell. Please, help my children to live in your world. One day, they will help you to live in it as well.
Without another word, the skull clattered to the ground, and a cacophony of bones sounded as an entire skeleton collapsed. Liana stepped forward, casting her meager light over the still form. Though the head had been familiar, that of a dinosaur, every other bone seemed an alien to her, and as the light flickered, she could see enormous wings. It was a dragon.
Spiraling stars.
So, it was a dragon. That was my first thought, but then it said dinosaur. Technically, both right. Dragon would have been a dinosaur, I guess. You still looking for that fishing rod like in this swamp?
Ship! Raka! Ship!
I told you it'd be faster to fly.
Oh, look, he's so cute. Several dozen of the oversized lizards clung to every part of his ship. He wondered exactly how many there were. They chittered excitedly, occasionally shouting in unison, ship, or once in a while, boat.
Magic!
The one who had spoken first, another rather colorful companion stood inside, waving their arms wildly as the ship gently curved through the air. Anne was already getting the hang of controlling the ship and found herself banking gently left and right to help control his speed with the sails. The expediency with which the creature seemed to pick up his language delighted Anne. Silently he wondered if he could recruit them as crew. I mean, maybe, but muggies. The wide, colorful one set up a gout of flame, nearly catching the sails.
Bugger me! Don't be doing that, laddies. Or ladies. I reckon I can't quite tell.
They seemed to ignore him as, all at once, flames erupted in every direction, thankfully away from the ship. Did you forget about, Liana? They lit the night and burnt away the fog, revealing the enormous ziggurat long before Anne needed to crash to avoid it.
Ye be quite handy to have around. How ye feel about becoming me mates?
Why is there an extra E here?
Mats!
Oh, they're trying to say mates.
Matey!
Well, he got it. Anne pulled the ship in low, barely scraping the mud as he came in close and stilled the ship.
Mats! Blacksmith? Mats!
The three seemed to be talking. A parade followed Anne as he leapt off the ship and began to circle the structure, clearing that the ruin he had expected and found the entrance. A dense set of footprints led inside. He reached to the cutlass head side. He turned upon the critters wielding everything from sticks to long leaves in imitation of him. Anne shrugged and led them inside.
So tell me, ickle wee ones, is this place your doing?
He gestured to the structure as he began to sneak silently inside.
Mates.
Raka! Mats! Mix!
Ah, so this be your den? I expect my companion to be inside. I hope she didn't pick no trouble with your mates.
Oh, they're gonna be sad.
Mutties!
Ye be getting it, ya little rapscallion.
Raskascallion! Raskakicallon!
Close enough.
Anne did not light a torch, lest he revealed a portrait of himself and his companions, a dangerous prospect considering he had no idea what was inside. He could likely hold his own, but his companions seemed like children, and he wasn't the type that risked children. It took him a few minutes of careful sneaking to come upon a light in the middle of an enormous room, revealing the bones of a massive winged beast and the distraught figure of Liana.
Ha ha! I found me matey me hearties.
My tears! Me hearties!
Okay, the purple one's the smartest.
Close enough.
Anne?
No. She sounded as distraught as she looked, and her owl mirrored the mood.
Are ye okay, lass? What be that beast?
The tiny creatures looked past her, staring at Liana, but the bones beneath her. They chittered, though Anne could pick up that they were repeating the same noise.
Karaka chikaka chiki?
All the creatures turned to him. It seemed to ask, looking at
How could I say no? Karajakis.
What? The creatures turned to Liana, who was halfway to writing a new entry in her journal.
I think I'm supposed to be their Kara Kachi Kachi, Anne.
Ha! Somehow I don't think ye be the mothering type, lass.
What, and you are?
Oh, aye.
The two stared at each other, only turning when a pair of footsteps began making their way, echoing through the gnome's chamber.
Come, my boy. The great whale boat lies within.
You tell me you've been trying to catch a damn boat.
Grandfather, they're...
Their voices stopped abruptly as Anne and Liana found themselves face to face with the odd feathered beings.
Well, I'll be. Looks like someone already caught the
Oh,
whale bold.
A dragon, it
And
looks dragon.
stripped him big as you please, too.
It was a woman.
Well, come on, Bobby. No time to gawk. Time to head home.
But grandfather, what are all these?
Doesn't matter. Off we go.
With that, the old bird-like creature trotted back out of the way he had come. The younger creature stared. His eyes are locked on Anne, then Liana, and finally the lizards, for easily a full minute before a voice from outside called.
Best be following me if you don't want to be lost in this fog.
With a reluctant turn, the young harpy scampered away.
Anne, do you know what this means?
Oh aye, it means I can recruit a whole menagerie to crew me ship, not merely all the baby beasts.
Liana turned to him, her eyes alight. Anne was shocked at the fire in them. He swore that in that dim light they burned with an actual luminescence.
There are other survivors.
The end?
And that, my friends, is how I learned to speak a human.
I recognize her. Wait a minute. Everyone merely stared at the kobold, their eyes wide.
I told you that I was from a flying island.
Wait, which one's Elfnod? I don't know who that is. Either collab. Okay, that one should look really familiar. It may just be the art style. So, I don't know. But it reminds me of this game I saw at Itch.io. And if it's right, if I'm right about like this made by the same studio, I will link that one in the Switch. I haven't played it, I want to play it. And if this is like the prequel to that or something, because that one also starred a necromancer. Or, yeah, like the protagonist is a necromancer. So, if it's like anything like that, like I definitely want to play it. It also was like $6.99 or something, so maybe not right now. But, yeah. Anyway, my thoughts on the game, it was, yes, there was a very short game. Well, it was, not very short, but it had a pretty decent amount of content in it. Like, and now I want to like read a bunch of stories about like witch pirates and stuff. Like, I would write it, but I have way too many projects. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one, whenever that is. Bye, guys.